my job to analyze fights. I don't think it's competitive based on his recent run of form. Just can't see it being that way. But George has a right to be insulted by it. George has a right to, as a competitor, he's got a right to go at it in that way. Now, as far as not being relevant since 2013, yeah, bro. But I'm not trying to be relevant. You know what I mean?
You retired.
I'm retired. No, I retired even after 2013. I still lasted a few more years. I even picked up a couple extra paydays. Actually, George is in a part of his career right now that you could look at in my career, like 2014, 2015, picking up those extra paydays based off of your reputation. That's what George is essentially in the same thing. So by George's standards, if we're going to go by George's standards, George hasn't been relevant since he beat Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? Because if you look at my career, I'm not relevant since 2013. I still had big fights after 2013, but I faded. I was in big fights stacked in my bank book, just the way George is doing now. So if we're gonna go by George's own criticism, George shouldn't be in this fight because George hasn't been relevant since the Teofimo Lopez win by his own standards.